Hello and welcome back everyone to Goldcoin Mountain, where today I will be doing another list, this time of the top 10 games to play around Halloween. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and also hit that little like button down there. It really does help me out. A couple of things before we get to the list. I didn't use two games from the same franchise, so no game will be on the list and then its sequel shortly thereafter. Also, these are not just scary games, some of them are just a good theme to be played in October around Halloween. With all that out of the way, let's do it! I know you all are sitting there like I should turn this video off now, because this is where this dude's starting. It can only get worse from here. But hear me out. Nintendo did a great job of free updates to this game before they let it die and watched its body decompose. And one of those updates was a fall update where you could grow pumpkins and then craft them into different decorations. You could also get costumes from the shop and even go trick-or-treating and hand out candy on Halloween. I don't go back to this game a ton anymore, but when I do, it's usually near a holiday that they build an update around. Little Nightmares 2 is a 2.5D platformer that isn't afraid to make you feel a sense of uneasiness and sometimes just downright uncomfortable. You'll play as Mono and have to work together with Six, who is the main character from the first game, as you sneak around through the world while you try to avoid creepy people and things, all while telling a story with only visuals, no words. The second game in this series didn't do anything earth-shattering in the way of mechanical improvements over the first game, but it did fine-tune a lot of elements. But the game at its core is still a spooky, stealthy action platformer. And also it can be completed in about 5 hours if you're looking for something quick this spooky season. You didn't really think I was gonna go through this list without a Wii U game, did you? Uh-oh, here comes the channel promo. If you like the Wii U, check out my Wii U in 2022 playlist, linked right here on the screen and also down below in the description. This game is on a lot of different consoles as just Zombie, but this one with the U has you controlling the Wii U, okay, I'll stop, gamepad as you'll manage inventory, check your map, touchscreen in-game elements, and also use it for gyroscope aiming. It's a survival horror game that at times ramps up its difficulty to frustrating levels while also keeping you engaged by having you bash a zombie's head in and have the blood spray onto your screen. Shoot one and watch body parts fly everywhere, but also strategic because loud noises will also attract more undead friends, which you don't want because the name of the game is to survive. While this one was a Wii U exclusive at one time, now it's on a bunch of different consoles and readily available in a lot of different places. But you know me, I think you should play it on the Wii U if you can. While this is a survival horror game, just like the prior one on the list, this one is a little different because you don't have a machete or a chainsaw or a gun, you have a camera. Which, you know, might sound a little lame, but I assure you it's not. The game takes place on a mountain where there have been many suspicious deaths and events. The ghosts that you encounter on the mountain are hostile and your only defense is your camera. You'll point and shoot to try and get the most damage and points possible on the ghosts. Sometimes they can pop up out of nowhere or start charging you, which adds to the tension and scares by trying to fumble around to get your camera in position to stop them. Unfortunately, at no point in the game can you trade your camera in for a proton pack.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
But you definitely should play it either way. Regarded as one of the best games of all time by critics and fans alike, and yet another survival horror game on this list, but I felt like it needed to be here because of how revolutionary it was. It was one of the first to make famous prominent use of the over-the-shoulder perspective that is still present in games as of today. And instead of the typical survival horror mechanics, gather a weapon or an item over here, grab a little bit of something to increase health there, it instead focuses more on the action and gunplay as you try to get through creepy environments and enemies. Which I prefer because the amount of dread of not having enough resources in a survival horror game sometimes can overshadow the fun and make a would-be entertaining game more frustrating. No such issues here though, and I highly recommend you play this game. It's available on pretty much every console imaginable, after originally only being a GameCube exclusive. So your options are plentiful, or they're doing a remake of it that comes out in March 2023, so you could just wait for then. However, that's not around Halloween, so you choose. A Plague Tale: Innocence, while is a stealth survival game, it focuses way more on story than in-game mechanics. You play as Amicia as she tries to protect her brother Hugo as they are being hunted down by the same people who killed their parents. When not running away or staying hidden from human enemies, you'll try to keep from being eaten by hordes of flesh-eating, plague-carrying rats. The rats won't come near fire though, as it's the main way of keeping them off you, and it is the most needed resource in the game. The game does a great job of making you feel a little bit fearful about what's coming up, while also nailing creepy locations and environments, making it a great game to play around Halloween. Hey, and bonus, a sequel will be releasing this month as well. Actually, next week as of this recording, I think. Batman Arkham Knight actually takes place on Halloween, and that's why when choosing one in the series to play in October, I chose it instead of Batman Arkham City, which is fantastic as well, but you'll be able to move freely through the open world of Gotham City, whether it's on foot, in the air, or newly introduced to the series here, driving around in the Batmobile, which a lot of people seem to really dislike for some reason, but I can confirm that it's awesome. A ton of well-known Batman villains are here, along with a ton of side missions and numerous gangs of criminals for Batman to dispose of with the game's amazing free-flowing combat system. If you've played one of the Batman games in the Arkham series, you know that they can be quite dark and at times a little scary, making this the perfect choice for the month. Luigi's Mansion 3 is along the same lines as Animal Crossing. It's not actually scary, although Luigi is scared shitless. Of course I could have went with either of the other two games in the series, but to me, this is the most polished and most fun entry. You'll make your way through a haunted hotel with different themes on each floor. You'll try to suck up ghosts into your poltergust, that's the name of the vacuum weapon, solve puzzles, and use your doppelganger made of slime named Gooigi in interesting ways. And in between that is some pretty amazing boss fights to get through that will definitely have you missing them after you're done with the game. Metroid Dread has the perfect name. It'll make you feel dread and hopelessness as the game starts you off by stripping you of all your abilities, and in true Metroid fashion, as you play through the levels, slowly acquiring them back. The real dread is highlighted early in the game when you're introduced to Emmy Zones, where these dog-like robots patrol and you, playing as Samus, are nowhere near strong enough to fight them. Your only choice is to run away and try to hide from them, because if they get a hold of you, it's pretty much certain death. The music and atmosphere of the levels does a great job of setting up the dread that's in the title as well. In my opinion, this is a game that should be played by, or at least tried by, everyone over the age of 10 or so. It's by no means an easy game, but quite rewarding when you can get through it. The Last of Us is available on PS3, PS4, and now as a remake, Last of Us Part 1 on PS5. Any version you play will not let you down, as this is, in my opinion, one of the best games ever created. If you don't know yet, you'll play as Joel as you're escorting a girl named Ellie through a post-apocalyptic world infested with zombies. I don't want to get too much into the story here in case you haven't experienced yet, but there are light puzzles to be solved, stealth elements, weapon combat, hand-to-hand combat, and hunting for health or crafting items. Some parts of this game, when you're trying to make your way past ugly, mutilated zombies, are absolutely horrifying and will get the blood pumping. There is also some stomach-turning death animations. But it's also you can maneuver and experience what I believe is the best told story in a video game. And once you're done with that one, the sequel is right there for you to be played as well. No spoilers, except for it's awesome also. Hope you enjoyed this look at 10 games you should play around the Halloween season. You should let me know down in the comments what you think. I would love to hear about it. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.